Hello and welcome to Talking Points here on Balls.ie, our weekly GAA show brought to you in partnership with Sky Sports. My name is Mark Farley and joining myself and Gavin Cooney on the couch this week is a man who is rumoured to sleep with a nightlight, not because he's afraid of the dark, but because the dark's afraid of him. It's me, dual star Mickey Burke. Mickey, thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks a million, lads. Thank you.
4 games this weekend. We'll start with the most entertaining and the most controversial, which was Armagh's 2-point victory over Tipperary in Semple Stadium in Thurles. It was controversial, mainly because of the referee Paddy Nealon's interpretation of the advantage rule, and that was up for discussion with Peter Canavan and James Horan on Sky Sports after the game.
One decision not to give Tipperary advantage towards the end of the game, and what did you make of this?
Yeah, it's a critical stage here. You see Tipperary attacking and the ball is played out here. And they're carrying the ball and they bring it through and Philip Austin gets the ball again and the ref blows it up. I think it's because the 5 seconds was over and the advantage rule, he didn't see it or didn't allow it. So Philip Austin is through on goal and he blows him up to come back. So that's on top of 2 other decisions. We talked at half-time about the decision. The Armagh got a genuine good goal that was pulled back for the advantage. And there was another situation where the Armagh goal came from in the second half, where Jamie Clark's goal, where the ball was put in. There was an advantage to Tipperary. The ball was just kicked in. It was kicked out to the corner flag to Conor Sweeney. Conor Sweeney was turned over and Armagh went straight down and got the goal. But so there's 3 huge decisions.
The decision just before that influenced him on the last one, James. Because
absolutely, yeah.
I've no doubt the Tipperary players, there was only a point in it with a few minutes to go, and he had his hand up for a free, and the ball was kicked into the corner. Absolutely no advantage to them. And he decided to play on, to give them the advantage. Armagh turned them over and they went up and got a goal. So I've no doubt the Tipperary players were on to him. And hence, with 3 points up in the context of the game, and they needed a goal, it wasn't an advantage by bringing the ball back and giving them a free kick.
The ref's head got frazzled. I think during the course of the game, he misunderstood or couldn't comprehend the 5-second rule or where there was an advantage. And he got caught up, and then one decision tried to compensate the next decision. Yeah. And I think he just got them wrong.
Yeah, Mickey, refereeing decisions aside, I suppose Armagh are delighted to get it. That's a big win over Tipperary. Kieran McGeeney, there were question marks over him before the match. I think everybody's fascinated with him. He's a story that we've all followed over the years. I'd say you're a big fan as well.
Yeah, big fan of Geezer. He would have been a guy that I really would have looked up to as a young fella. Coming on the scene, I would have been fascinated by his professionalism and his dedication to the game and that. And he's kind of bringing them traits now with Armagh. Did a good win there at the weekend. Played nice football at times. I like the way they used Jamie Clark out the field instead of maybe an inside role, getting him on the ball, a bit of a playmaker. But yeah, Geezer's a guy now I would have followed for a long time, all right.
Would you have had much experience in playing against him with either Armagh or Kildare?
Yeah, definitely would have played Kildare and played Armagh in the championship there a few years ago as well. He was kind of under Grimley, working under Paul Grimley at the time. But yeah, I remember him years and years ago in a challenge match up in Armagh, and I just remember telling him, he was marking Joe Sheridan, and I'll do anything to win, Joe. I just remember he kept saying, I'll do anything to win, Joe, I'll do anything to win. And who's this lunatic? But yeah, that was Geezer, all right. But I've met him off the field a few times, and even the way he's still training now is kind of inspires me as well,
Yeah, speaking of officialdom actually in that match, the umpire caught my eye. One of the things I noticed was with this clip, I'm not sure if he's signalling for Hawkeye or he's just performing a really bad rendition of charades here. I think he might be actually playing the Macarena.
Later that evening, Carlow played a 5th game in a single championship for the first time since 1944. So theirs is undoubtedly one of the stories of the summer, and Sky Sports pondered the legacy of that summer after their defeat to Monaghan.
Shots coming in of the players, as you can see. They've stayed out with the fans who obviously appreciate the efforts that they put in this evening. So just a few final words.
Oh, absolutely. They've had a fantastic summer. They've been absolutely brilliant. I work with a guy, actually, just a small note. I work with a guy that's from Carlow, and he's 3 young kids, I think 7, 5 and 2.
Yeah. He
was on about that a couple of weeks ago he had to go out and buy 3 Carlow jerseys. He lives up in Mayo, but his kids had never been down and never came down to watch Carlow. They've been down for every game this summer. So that's something that Carlow have brought this year. The rate of development and the bounce they've got around the county. Their cool camps were packed this year. So that's the impact that those guys and how well they've represented their county this year have done.
Yeah, it's a unique summer for Carlow, and it's a pretty unique bunch of players, especially in terms of their preparation. I don't know if you saw this during the game, but Sky Sports commentator Mike Finnerty said that their forward Paul Broderick sheared 50 sheep the morning in the Dublin game. And this is not true. As Paul told us, it was closer to 80. And their goalkeeper, Craig Carney, warmed up for the game by selling tickets to the match in a local Super Value right up to about 5 o'clock before the game. There's him with his manager in shot. Apparently he did want to do it. I think Super Value were going to let him off to, warm up for the game, but I know he wanted to do it.
Mick, have you ever sheared any sheep the morning of a match or do anything to any pre-match rituals?
No, not really, unless maybe a cow breaks out the field or something like that. I might have to go and chase him, but no, nothing major. I marked Paul before, he gave me a tough time, so I was wondering why he was so strong there, to be honest.
All jokes aside though, it probably is a good idea like that. Players probably want to switch off before a match rather than having to solely focus on it all the time, because like he said, he wanted to actually work. He had the day off if he wanted it, but he's trying to probably distract himself.
Yeah, like he'd probably spend more time thinking about the game than that if you just stuck to his normal routine, went to work, probably went out and had a stormer then, or just relaxed. It's important to do that before big games.
Yeah, definitely. It's time for our fan of the week. I regret to inform you all that the standard has dropped ever since Kilkenny have been knocked out of the championship. We do have 3 nominations. My first nomination is this Carlow fan from Cullen Park at the weekend with a cock on his head.
Speaking of Carlow, we're staying with the theme there, the story of the weekend, I suppose. These lads were at a wedding on Saturday. They couldn't make the game, but Alan Cashin kitted them out in Carlow Dicky Bows and pocket squares. And actually, the third man from the right there, Paul Cashin, is a former Carlow captain, and he was saying that when he made his debut for Carlow, they only had 15 players available to them that day, so it shows you how far they come. And just as James Horan mentioned on Sky Sports, Paul was saying that every kid now in Carlow he meets is a Carlow jersey.
Yeah, it's outstanding. And our third nomination is this unidentified Tyrone fan. Nice shades, Dave McIntyre style shades, because I think they've got the one pair that they're passing around the Sky Sports commentary booth. But respect him for going out and buying the most recent Tyrone jersey rather than sticking to the old retro ones.
Yeah, whoever that fan is, I'm guessing he was delighted with Tyrone's win yesterday, 2-17 to 15 points over Down. A match, I suppose, that was made, the most remarkable thing about it was the amount of sledging and kind of off the ball dark art stuff that went on. Here's Conor McParland giving Sean Kavanagh a nipple twist just in the middle, as Sean Kavanagh was actually speaking to the referee, which was the weirdest thing about it.
I mean, we're always talking about we want to see tweaks in the championship, but I think that's...
Mickey, as a proponent of the sports bra GPS devices, do you think he actually would have felt the nipple twist? Or
I suppose he's just looking for reaction there, maybe to get caught by Sean to react and get caught by the ref, but I suppose you got to do whatever you got to do to try and win the game.
I'm about to say, you're a saintly man. Have you ever been involved in any dark arts, or have you any favourite things to get in the lad's head?
No, I prefer just to genuinely be sticky and be annoying and physical more so with my man than I think if you're going to do something, just do it. Don't have a big bark and have no bite. That's the way I be thinking. But I pretend just to be. I prefer to be more physical, be intense with my man and kind of check him and that kind of thing, and then if he starts reacting, then you have him maybe.
Ronan O'Neill once again beguiled this game with a brilliant goal, and he also broke new GAA ground with a celebration. So last year, after his goal in the National League final against Cavan, he dabbed. He was the first GAA player to ever do that.
Disgraceful behaviour.
And yesterday he broke out a Solvay celebration. Mickey, I don't know what you're thinking if your man scores a goal, the man you're marking scores a goal and he breaks out a celebration like that. What's going through your head?
I'd be devastated if he scored for a start, but no, all joking aside, I suppose it is important to have characters like that in the GAA to be able to pull something like that off. He scored a lob, so if you lob the keeper, you're entitled maybe to do something like that, celebrate like that.
You can do whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's it.
The Leinster final, Dublin just the 9 points to spare over Kildare, and the most depressing thing about it was that I think everybody thought Kildare played pretty well. Mickey, you were speaking at the start of the year. I just want to quote something here about Dublin. You said, "You boys think I'm delusional, but I'm not trading since November to just go up and get the runaround from Dublin. We put so much effort, sacrifice and time into football. I'm eating nothing but blueberries, avocados and spinach all day, every day." Avocados aside, what do we need to do to beat Dublin?
I don't know. They're a really, really top team at the moment, probably one of the greatest teams ever. The green smoothies are keeping me going now, might I add. But no, they're a fantastic side, and just because I'm a Meath man, it doesn't give me any pleasure in saying it, but they're brilliant. They're really hard to beat, and that photo there now was Kildare did well for long periods of time, I thought yesterday, but Dublin's bench, just their athleticism, everything about them at the moment is just they're a real tough nut to crack.
Is it a little bit dispiriting to watch that Leinster final in the sense that you played against Kildare? Kildare were better than you on the day and beat you pretty well, I think by 9 points, and then to see them go on and lose by 9 points in the Leinster final themselves. Is it hard to get yourself motivated when the Leinster Championship is that unequal?
It isn't. Firstly, I suppose from a Meath point of view, we would have liked to get up to Division 1. That would have given you a big boost, but we didn't get out of Division 2. But yeah, Kildare bet us comfortably on the night, no excuses. But you gotta perform or be as professional as you can when you go back training and train as hard as you can. You can't be worrying about Dublin. You're looking to catch them on the hop if you ever get to a final at the moment. As I said, they're so strong, but it looks like maybe Tyrone and Kerry are possibly the only teams that can kind of live with them.
And on Dublin, like, this might be a silly question because they're good at everything, but is there anything that specifically sticks out in your mind that you can say about Dublin? They just do that better than anyone else.
Well, I think Stephen Cluxton's restarts, I think, are a huge part of their game. I think Jimmy McGuinness from Donegal studied their kickouts one time and you could see no consistent pattern with them. And I don't think they have. I think their movement out the field, and then Stephen Cluxton is so good when he puts the ball in the tee, he can find them. And if you're gaining possession nearly from every kick out, you're on a winning note straight away.
Yeah, they're so quick as well. I think there's only 8 or 10 seconds between the ball going wide or over the bar and then Cluxton has the ball kicked out. It's
no, it's brilliant. He's a serious man. I think he's their main man, really. You know.
One of the things I suppose maybe that Meath have tried this year, we're not sure if it's a plan or anything, but it's one of the sagas of the summer, I think, is to get inside other teams' heads with the soundtrack that is at Park Tailteann before matches.
So I can't believe we've got a third week out of the soundtrack at Park Tailteann.
In case you missed this, 2 weeks ago, some of the tunes that were played out over the tannoy were Sex and the City theme tune, Ali McBeal theme song. Last week it was ABBA's greatest hits. Vicky, you probably haven't heard any of this. You're in the dressing room, but is it a plan? Is it something that
no?
you know
Just
about?
my friends were talking about it in the stand. They heard it. I didn't hear a bit of it now, to be honest. But no, we'll have to get Martin Haller and the Meath PRO to sort that out now. If they did, get a better DJ in.
These tunes aren't picked by the players to get themselves.
I don't think so. Now I think we'd have more rap or something like that, R&B or no, none of that.
Would you have any songs yourself that you listen to get in the zone?
Not really. I like a bit of Flo Rida, maybe something like that. Yeah. No, nothing major. Nothing off the Linkin Park, maybe. A few things like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So if you're listening to the VPRO, Linkin Park, bit of Numb or something next year to get the lads in the zone.
Don't know how many father like that, but.
But that is it from us this week. On Sky Sports this weekend, you will have the qualifiers. It's Mayo versus Cork and Galway versus Donegal. So we'll be back reviewing those games and the hurling quarterfinals next Monday. But until then, mind yourself.